Nate the Mule White joins me once again, this time after another round one victory, beating Brian Cosco at NEF 42 via TKO. What is up, my man? How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm really good. First of all, we got to dive right into this front kick because as an amateur fighter, that is one of the more impressive shots that I've seen regionally, man. I mean, you landed it flush. Did you know you had him on the ropes once you landed that shot?
Oh yeah. Um, when I landed that shot, I knew it was over. Uh, nobody. I could just feel the power behind it and the way it kicked his head up. I knew it was pretty much over after that.
Did you see something in previous tapes of his that led you to believe that that's something that you could come out firing with, or was that just off of instinct?
Yeah, I'm a big film guy. I always have been. I played football, so I was always watching huddle, watching game film. So I watch all my opponent's film, and in all of his fights, he would throw like these, strikes that are just show, and he'd take this ridiculous takedown shot. And I was talking to my corners and coaches for a couple months now, and I knew a kick would be open, so that you could see in the beginning of the fight, we kind of just stand there. And I was just waiting for him to open up a little bit, and the second he did, I threw that kick.
And it landed flush. Like I said at the beginning, man, wow, that was a clean shot. It got me right up out of my seat. I was there cage side, and I was like, wow, Brian's in big trouble. And you capitalized on that very quickly. Now, you did say you're a big film guy, so studying his tape, did you feel like you were going to hold the advantage in this fight regardless of where it went, or did you want to keep it a certain way? I mean, I got to imagine you were probably expecting this fight to go a little longer than it did.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be a tough fight. Brian's a tough guy, no doubt. Brown belt in jiu-jitsu, so he's good on the ground. My game plan with him was to stand up for a second, set up my ground game by, he's older, his cardio, I don't know what it's like, but, typically as you get older, it drops down. So
you're saying us old guys, our cardio is not. It's okay. I got it.
Yeah. But my game plan was to set up the ground game with some stand-up stuff. So, and that, if it takes one kick, it takes one kick. Worked perfect. So.
Yeah, you seem to have a lot of support in the building that night. How many tickets did you sell?
I didn't sell too many really. This fight, I pretty much focused on just training. So I didn't really get after people about buying tickets. So I told Peterson that I didn't really want to take too many tickets in. So.
Well, it seems like every fight that you go in and you have another big win and performance, maybe you're just gaining more and more fans for the New England Fights promotion that are excited to see you step inside the cage, because it did get very loud in there, and you seemed to be smiling. Everyone was excited to see you after the fight. How important was it to beat a veteran guy like Cosco? He had, I believe that was his 13th amateur fight, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot more experience inside the cage. Is how important was that to beat a guy that has that much more time inside the NEF cage?
Oh, it was big. Like I said, coming in, I know Brian's a tough dude. So to be able to beat him and beat him in the fashion I did is, man, just that it's hard to put into words how great that feels. I've never felt something like that in my life. So, that's big. And I had a lot of friends there, a lot of my really close friends there had never been to a fight before. So fighting in front of them, it was big moment for me.
How'd you celebrate afterwards? I know you're not 21 yet, so you're not going out to the bars or anything like that. What did you do?
I went to USM with with about 5 of my friends. We watched the John Jones fight, and then woke up at 6:45 and roughed the wrestling tournament the next day.
Nice. Now, do you have a girlfriend? Are you single?
I am single.
You are single. Okay, so are you
Ladies?
Well, that's why I ask. Are you noticing that you're starting to get a lot more attention from the opposite sex down around your area, or what?
Oh yeah. Always.
Well, shoot your shot. This is the time. Capitalize on your fame here in the New England area for your mixed martial arts talent. Let's talk about the next one. Now, NEF is going to be in Orono in April. I got to imagine you probably want to stay active and get on that card.
Absolutely. I will tell you this. I do have a fight for NEF in April. I'm not allowed to say names yet, but I'm excited to go there. I love that venue. The Merrill Auditorium, that was dope. That auditorium was, state of the art. The Collins Center in Orono, that place is just as good. I love those two venues. We've got some big things coming. I'm excited.
Yeah, both of those venues to me are very similar. I thought that Merrill was pretty comparable to the Collins Center up in Orono, so I'm excited to go back. Now, without dropping the name, because I know Matt and Nick probably wouldn't like that very much, but can you just tell me, is it a step up in competition? Are you fighting a guy with, more wins than losses? Is it maybe potentially for a title? Like, can you give us any clues at all?
It's actually not a great record fighter, but he has asked to fight me. He asked a while ago. He asked to fight me, and I take the fight. So after a big veteran like Cosco, you don't always have to take a step up. It's good to stay active and take a fight that will keep you active, so you can train for those big fights too.
Gotcha. Well, we'll talk about who that next opponent is when the time comes as we get closer to the next NEF event. Before I do let you go, I want to talk about the dominant performance. You were our first ever winner for the Sea Dog Dominant Performance of the month. Now, a lot of people are upset because certain fighters weren't nominated. I nominated 8 guys for this award, you being one of them. When you look at a dominant mixed martial arts performance in there, is there certain criteria that comes to your mind as to what you're looking for? Because you got guys like Roz Hilton, who has a huge fan base. I love Roz, a great friend of mine. But that was a tough fight. So
Yeah.
To me, I didn't even entertain that as a dominant performance. It was a great win against a tough fighter, but it wasn't a dominant fight. So I'm just curious what you look at when you're looking at, dominant performances as an MMA fan.
For me, a dominant performance is, are you controlling them the whole time? Is it clear and concise? And, how much damage did you take? And how fast? If you're going out there and crushing, like Chris Sorrow, when he knocked out Ross, that was a dominant performance. It was clear, concise, left no question marks.
Mm-hmm.
He took no damage. Mine and Costco's fight, I didn't get hit once. And the first dominant performance where I fought Austin Hamilton, I didn't get hit at all. I've had 2 fights in a row, and I haven't been touched. I consider those dominant performances.
Mm-hmm.
My teammate Joe Howard, when he fought Justin Kangas, that was a dominant performance. He destroyed him. I like Justin. I fought Justin. There's a little of back and forth with me and his teammates, but I talked to Justin. I like Justin, but Joe beat him up. It was a dominant performance. So yeah, when I look at that, it's how much damage are you taking? Are you control? And how fast?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you could go 3 rounds and just be tuning the guy up, and you're just not finishing him. That's still a dominant performance. So time doesn't really matter. But if you're controlling him and you're not taking any damage, that's what I look for.
I was going to ask you to pitch yourself as to why you deserve to be a 2-time dominant performance of the month winner, but you just did that. I do want to ask, did you stick around and watch the co-main and main events?
Absolutely.
What were your thoughts of both of those fights? Because I know a lot of people didn't expect the co-main event to go the way that it did. Me, from my vantage point, I felt like Josh fought Jesse's fight. He was eager to go to the ground with him. He stayed right in his guard. He was going through. Jesse was trying to get a couple of different submissions, I believe, an arm bar before that Kimura landed. I believe that's what ultimately got him the victory. But just overall, what was your thought on that fight? Were you surprised, or is that something you saw coming?
So first off, I just want to shout out Jesse Erickson. He's my coach. Love the dude. Trains like a mule, dude.
Absolutely.
You know, I love the guy, and I'm not surprised. I know how hard he works. I know what his skill level is. I wasn't surprised at all. I know what he's capable of, and he stuck to his game plan and you know worked it like a wizard. Um, Josh, he's been training Muay Thai. I don't know what the depth of his, what he does besides Muay Thai. I just know Primo's Muay Thai base. So for Jesse's fight, yeah, I think Josh played Jesse's game, and Jesse worked a bunch of submissions, and he was slick with them,
Yeah.
and he got the finish. So that was dope. I'm so happy for Jesse. He completely deserved that one. And for the Bruce fight, yeah.
Man, he's a stud, man. He's an absolute stud.
Dude, I've never seen somebody have full mount and dig for a guillotine like that. That was
Yeah.
slick. He's clearly a top tier guy. He just, the weight obviously is a problem for him, cutting weight. So, yeah, 100%. If he can get the cutting weight down, he'll go back.
Oh,
That
for sure.
was because Bruce is a tough guy. Obviously, we all know that. Like, one of the toughest dudes in New England, no doubt about it. And for Manny to beat Bruce like he did,
Yeah.
it just shows like their levels. And unfortunately, Bruce didn't get the win, but we all win some and lose some.
Yeah, for my money personally, I feel like yourself, Manny, and there were two others that I thought were the most dominant on the evening. I guess pick your poison as to how you think, what your opinion is on that. It's going to be subjective, but just to be clear, because I know a lot of people were giving me a hard time that I didn't have Jesse Erickson nominated. I think he had the most impressive win of the night.
Absolutely.
Impressive versus dominant. They're similar but different. So I just want to get that out there so people don't think I'm hating on the Viking, because I love the Viking. He's a great fighter. So just
Absolutely.
to be very clear. But all in all, Nate, it was a fantastic night, man. I had a blast being cage side watching 20 plus fights. I believe there was 12 first round finishes. It was nuts. And congratulations to you on moving to 5-0. Let's do it again before your next one. And any sponsors, anyone you want to thank? Floor is yours.
I want to thank NEF, Matt Peterson, Nick DeSalvo, and the whole cage setup crew. They all did awesome. The refs, the commission, everybody. It was a clean, smooth fight. I can't wait to do it again in April. And I'd like to thank Jim Peterson, who I work for, Red Oak Forestry, Vacation Land Limousine, Gaskill, screen printing, and my teammates, coaches, friends, family, Team CM BJJ, and Famoso BJJ here in Rumford.